Checking to see if I still got my spidey hops. Booyah!
Post squats. I'm gonna see if I can still touch the rim. I'm pretty tired. Let's see if I can do this.
Legs. You can't spell legendary without leg day. The average person's legs do so much for them without them even really appreciating it. Learning to walk as an infant is borderline erased from our minds, but looking back is one of the biggest hurdles that we had to get the hang of. And these days, we see just how much of a blessing it is to be able to walk when you want, as we've learned many people sadly would give anything to have their health be 100%. The abilities our legs give us is truly an astronomical blessing. I always talk about anime characters and superheroes on this channel, and while we aren't able to fly yet, or move with super speed yet, our legs give us the tools to get damn near as close as we can at this current moment. The power they generate to jump like Spider-Man and kick like Sanji. The strength they unleash to lift like the Hulk and Goku. And the speed and endurance to go the distance like Wally West the Flash and Sonic the Hedgehog. Or various badass athletes if you're just not into that nerdy stuff. But if you are, hit that subscribe button and go look through my playlist. I guarantee you'll never be bored here. But there's a reason so many anime characters are always running in their intro, and with the proper work put in comes a nice variety of leg aesthetics though, to get you all these different looks which all have different benefits.
So for example, out of these choices, who do you think has the best legs shown here, right? So, type your answer down below, and then if you want to, you can also type why you personally think that, but go ahead, I'll let you get some time and type it down below. All right, done? So, this all greatly depends on what you perceive as best. So for example, if you're someone who hyper focuses on just aesthetics, you care about the look of the muscle, you care about the symmetry, the shape, the size, all that stuff. That's going to be different than someone who cares primarily about function and their legs are primarily a byproduct for that, for whatever they are trying to accomplish with it. So they're always going to be two vastly different things. Does not mean that they cannot have some crossover, but it does mean that they are primarily trained differently.
Because of course, sometimes you see people in comment sections or threads that say, "Bruh, I got no legs, lol," with that freeze the soldier mentality where they can't actually gauge how powerful someone truly is. But when you see what they can do with their legs, it more than makes up for the lack of apparent size. Never knew who Michael Jordan was and saw this picture, you'd be saying he had some string bean calves, but this man could fly. Boy could dunk from the three-point line, and I say most people would love to have those type of powerful legs. Some would say this man, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, has what some would consider average-looking legs, but when you see how fast and hard he kicks, you know damn well you don't want to be hit by them. Same with the GOAT GSP and heavyweight horse meat enthusiast Alistair Overeem. Dude can crack your ribs with a tap kick. Same goes with Usain Bolt, the fastest man on the planet. Some would say he skips legs, but I'm pretty sure this man runs with cheetahs in his downtime.
And honestly, when you see their quads, they all have respectively good legs, but some of them just don't have the biggest calves. Real talk, I think most people care about calf size over quad size, because if you have calves that look like this, but quads that look like this, majority of people aren't gonna give you any issue. Just look at Manny Pacquiao and how many people admire his freaking bulls. Those are not calves, those are bulls.
They aren't physique competitors and are not training to be. They are athletes in different sports. So if your main goal is to build massive, muscular, aesthetic looking legs, great, respect. But if it's in most situations you find that they hindrance you functionally, where you can't run, jump, or kick that effectively, but yet you talk down to others who can,
That's no good.
The sad reality is this also goes both ways, because sometimes I see bodybuilders who are just trying to help people get stronger, fitter, more aesthetic legs and just get them defined and chiseled, but then people are just oh, that's not functionally plausible though, those would just do you more harm than good. And it's just they're training for a specific thing for themselves. Not every single person has to have the exact same training routine. Life would be so boring that way. Do what you love, and remember, if you're a strong person, lift each other up, don't put each other down. That's weak and comes off is overcompensating and insecure. That is all I'm saying. Let's all support each other, because there's nothing wrong with this. There's nothing wrong with having different training modalities. The one thing I will say, just to be wary of,
a while ago I saw this dude who had quads that were so massive that they actually scraped against each other when he went running. And respect to the guy for building them, because I can only fathom the hard work it took building them, but imagining not being able to run if absolutely needed seems horrific to me.
Now, the key thing to having those athletic legs and thick thighs saving lives is understanding power. Power!
about power. We stay hungry, we devour.
Now for my physics nerds watching this, you know that power is defined by force times distance over time. Now in this scenario, distance is something you wouldn't necessarily be able to change unless you're young and you're growing, or you're a person who goes and gets that ridiculous Jack Hanma surgery that makes you like freaking taller, because it really depends on how long your legs are. So the key thing here is to focus on increasing force, which is pretty much how strong and how powerful your legs are, and decreasing time, which is basically how fast you are. So we have to increase your speed. And there is an ocean of ways to do that in addition to standard lifting. And something I've noticed for myself for a while is a lot of the leg results I've gotten came from a combination of not just resistance training, but a lot of incidental training that I didn't even realize I was doing on a daily basis. A lot of people always ask me what's my routine for legs, because they always see videos of me like, you know, posting my vertical, you know, jumping, or like me posting myself in short shorts or wearing a certain cosplay or something like that that shows off the legs very nicely. And asking me like how much I barbell squat or barbell deadlift, and be honest, I don't really do those frequently, if like at all, because I've just found so many variations I prefer instead. And again, I gotta make it clear, that's not saying I don't weight train my legs, not at all. I do weight train my legs, it's just I've noticed I do a lot more incidental training, whether it be intentional or unintentional, and that helped increase my speed and power when I was just like, I wonder why I got better at that, and I was just like, I haven't specifically trained for that, and I was just, oh, well, that's a fun little byproduct. Example, I am a hyper bouncy person. Like I am on some Tigger, Pinkamena, Diane shit on a daily basis without even realizing it. I literally just do it.
A lot of my friends even said they think I have ADHD, but I've never been diagnosed, but I'm always energetic naturally, as I explained in depth in my video on how people can maintain their energy without caffeine. And there is a massive difference between normal energy me and caffeinated me. Colossal difference. So I am highly active daily, doing a variety of things like running, sprinting tracks, sprinting up hills, jumping, skating, jogging up and down stairs, cycling, jump roping, bodyweight squatting, burpees, walking, dancing, sports, martial arts, and just a lot of things I do for fun. Like I do pistol squats pretty casually. One of my old coaches said that I had a lot of fast twitch muscle fibers in my legs, and apparently I've had them since I was a kid, and I was even in the newspaper for running back then.
Before I fell in love with Krispy Kremes and my PS2. And a few people have even commented that my legs have probably been like this for years, since my friend Mike decided to post this to social media. So let's just flashback, shall we? Maybe I should do a Street Shark stuff like the tunes. Let me know in the comments.
My legs may not be the biggest and most aesthetic, but they work super well for me. I feel like PS4 Spider-Man with them, and I feel like I've built them to work well for myself through a combination of everything I mentioned and just greasing the groove of constantly doing things with them on a daily basis. The only reason I haven't done strict barbell squats in a while was just because some years back, someone I knew effed up their back horrifically, and I've talked about this many times before in this video with my battle with my own mental health issues of never feeling like I was good enough, and I would always unintentionally keep injuring myself because I kept over pushing myself through pain, trying to be the badass because I didn't want to be the weak person who used to get punked as a chubby kid, you know, who used to get beat up all the time. And so I would vastly overcompensate because of my own personal insecurities. And I talked about that in depth here, and I have a whole mental health playlist. Definitely check it out when you get the chance.
Therapy is great and helps a ton, and go watch that video because you may be surprised how many kindred spirits decide to open up once they saw that other people were opening up about going through similar issues. And that can always be very beneficial in just helping you be a better person in the long run.
I do not want this to be misconstrued of me saying, oh, skip libs, they're not worth it. Not at all, not at all, not at all. What I'm saying is, if for whatever reason you don't want to do a certain exercise, there are tons of variations to still build yourself up. Some people will get in this tribal mindset and say, this is the only way to do all these. But you can still think outside the box and find various ways. Some may not be as effective, quote unquote, but if you feel better doing them and you're generally noticing improvements, then in the long term, it is more effective for you personally because you'll be more consistent with it.
I still love doing like, front squats and kettlebell swings, and I really like doing those type of circuits that make your legs just burn like hell. But I'm doing this video just to show like there are just so many variety of ways that you can like work out your legs without just doing a standard, split for legs, and showing that you can actually build them up to be strong and powerful, and you don't necessarily need them to be like, massive quad beasts. It appears there's this stigma of people just hating leg day, like, oh, I don't want to do leg day, it's too hard, it's too boring, why do I even need legs? I care about the abs and upper stuff like that. And it's just to show like there are so many variety of ways to train your legs.
If you hate leg day, try to do more incidental training or joining something that will make you use your legs a ton through various movements like dance class, a Peloton bike, sport team with various stuff, etc. Just use your legs. They will become stronger, more functional, and will start to look nicer, and you will learn various moves you enjoy. Also, build that butt. And if you're trying to build legs purely for aesthetic bodybuilding purposes, that's a different thing entirely. But if you're just trying to be fit and proportionate overall, these will do nothing but help you out, baby. For people who are watching this who don't have the function of their legs, I do not mean this to be something where you feel less about yourself. Build up the strength of your torso, your neck, your arms, your pecs, your back, your abs, and you too can be great in your own way and build to be a better you. It can be hard to believe in yourself, but no, I believe in you. And look up inspirational stories of people in similar predicaments as you and how they prospered. You got this, kings, queens, and non-binary royales.
But there's more than the standard way just to train your legs, and never forget that. And if you made it this far in the video, type thigh gang down below. And tell me, if you could choose between one of these 4 monkey's paw scenarios, so like it's like you get a cool little thing, but there's this weird little after effect that happens, which one of these 4 would you choose? Perfectly aesthetic, strong quads, butt, and calves that can lift a lot, but they slow you down in other movements you'd use your legs for. Or Michael Jordan jumping, but in this scenario, you only jump high but lack speed and strength. Or track star sprinting and distance, but little lifting strength or jumping. Or do you want to be like top tier MMA fighter, power and speed kicks, but stamina drains fast? Which would you want to wake up with tomorrow? Let's get a discussion going in the comments down below. So some quick updates for the people who stay. I'm still working on my Mega Spider-Man video. It's actually been pushed back because I wanted to release it to coincide with Spider-Verse 2, but since that's been pushed back, I'm like, fine, at least it gives me more time to work on it. So that'll be fun when it's like finally finished. So I'll probably like work on something else because maybe the TMNT movie thing is coming out, so I might do something with that. We'll see. But also I'm working on a program called Hybrid Theory. It's a follow-along program which is going to combine weight training and calisthenics, but it's going to be so different. Like, it's going to be not just like the standard, follow-along sort of deal. It's going to be a super choose-your-adventure type fun deal that has such a variety of stuff that you will never get bored doing it. I'm making it like my magnum opus when it finally releases, so definitely hop on that when it comes out because it's got so much stuff that we've added to it. I've had consulted with several coaches like of what I can do to make it the best thing possible, just to help people from variety like beginner, advanced, intermediate, and so I'm going to be super hyped when that finally releases. And of course, working on more Tough Like Tunes and more With That workouts, so be sure to hit that bell icon and subscribe. You'll never be bored here, and thank you all for the added support. And remember, like I always say, keep calm, booyah on, and don't forget Momentai. Now go get those thick life-saving thighs just like your favorite girl. Booyah!